Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Sivadas Madhavan, Associate Professor and Research Guide in Wolaita University, Ethiopia. Today I'm going to talk about the research mechanics. Mechanics refers to the technicalities, the structure, the appearance, the format of the research. So most of the time people may not have seen a research paper. So these days it is common to have research papers in the libraries and you can go and check it. So first, when we talk about the format of the research, we have to think of the documentation style that you are following. So depending on the documentation style like MLA, APA, Chicago, etc., the research format will be different. So first decide the documentation style and then go for that. So I'm going to tell you the most common practice people do. That means an average type of format. So first it begins with the cover page, and the cover page will have the university name first, and there will be the title of the research paper after a little space, and then below that there will be the name of the research scholar, and below that there will be the name of the professor who advises you or supervises your paper, and below that you will write the date, that means the due date of the research, and that will be in the front page. And after that there will be the title page, which contains more or less the same items, and we are going to see it in detail later. So now to tell you the format, the second part is the title page, and then you will have dedication, which is not compulsory. You can omit it if you don't want it, and then the certificate or the statement that shows the originality of the paper from some official like the research guide or the department head or the university authorities, etc. And next comes the acknowledgement. The acknowledgement for the help that you received from different sources while working on the research paper. And then contents, then abstract. Abstract is the summary of the main points of your research paper, or abstract is an extended title. We will come to that later in detail. And next comes introduction. Introduction will be the first chapter. That means your research report will be divided into different chapters. The first chapter will be the introduction. Second chapter will be the review of literature. And the third chapter will be the research methodology. Fourth chapter is the analysis of data. And next comes your discussion of results. And the last chapter will be conclusion. And after that, references, the references that you used for preparing the research paper, and then appendices, if you have anything to add to that, your questionnaire or any such documents which are to be attached to the research paper will come under appendices. And then comes index. This index is also not necessary. If you want, you can put. So these will be the format of the research paper most of the time. And here I have mentioned only 5 chapters, but there is no hard and fast rule that there must be only 5 chapters. It can be 6 or 7. That means it can be from 4 to 8 or 9. But less than 4, you cannot see a research paper commonly. And 5 is an ideal. 5 or 6 will be an ideal number of the chapters. And these chapters will be divided into different sections, and the section headings will be there. And whatever you write, your research paper will be double-spaced pages. That means every page you will have double spaces, and the font size also will be prescribed depending on the document style that you are using, and most commonly it will be 12 point. And the font type also, the most common type is Times New Roman or Arial. It is better not to have any artistic font, because your research paper will be valued for its academic merit, not for the artistic qualities. And a research paper will be from 100 to 300 pages. That is the appropriate size of a research paper. 100 to 300 pages. It can be between 100 and 300 pages. That is a PhD research. There are different types of research, but a normal PhD research, which takes 4 to 6 years to work on a topic under the guidance of a research guide or the research guide team. Sometimes there will be co-advisors also. So you have to do it in the prescribed form, and this formats or the regulations will be given by the university officials. You have to follow that. So PhD will be after post-graduation, as everybody knows. For graduation also, there can be a research paper, and that is called thesis. You know, a very interesting thing about this thesis and dissertation. You see, undergraduate students also write a research paper. That is most commonly called the term paper. That will be 5,000 to 8,000 words. That means 10 to 15 pages. That will be the length of a term paper of undergraduates. But in the case of PG students, for master students, it can be from 10,000 to 15,000 words. That means from 20 to 30 pages. And that is called thesis. And the PhD students, they write the dissertation. So this is American system. Americans will say PhD students write dissertation and master students write thesis. But if it comes to the British system, it is just the opposite. The British system says dissertation is master's research paper and thesis is the PhD work. That means PhD work is called thesis in Britain and dissertation in America. That is only the difference between the terms in using. It is like truck and lorry. British people will say lorry, Americans will say truck. So it is a difference between American English and British English. So American English says dissertation for the PhD work and thesis for the master's work. Actually, it is just the opposite in Britain. And whatever it is, a normal student takes 4 to 6 years to write the research paper. And the format, you see, I told you most convenient way is including 5 chapters. So the first chapter will be from 15 to 25 pages. That means 10% of the whole text. So the introductory part will be 10% of the research. And the second chapter, that is review of literature, will be 40 to 60 pages. That means 30% of the research. And the third chapter, that is methodology, will be from 10 to 25 pages. That's also again 10% of the research. And the fourth chapter will be 40%. That will be the fourth chapter. That is discussion of data and discussion of result, etc. And the last chapter, the fifth chapter, will be from 15 to 20 pages. That is 10% again. So that way 100% will be correct. But this is only an imaginary or an ideal form, but most of the time practically students will not be able to stick to these rules. So when you write, it will be more than that or less than that, but approximately it will be of this size or this length. And when you talk about the length of the research paper, you know the very funny thing about Albert Einstein. In 1905, Albert Einstein wrote his thesis and it was only 24 pages. But you know, the shortest research ever made in the history of researchers is only 9 pages, and that paper you can see in MIT library. And the longest or the largest research paper which won the Guinness Book of Records is 2,200 pages. It is very large, very big, but it is not necessary. So we have to consider a research paper of PhD students between 100 pages and 300 pages. So that is an ideal size. So that's all about the mechanics that I have to tell you now, and thank you for now. We will come up with another topic next time, and see you later.